knows Joe Garner. She's been serving as a mortgage loan officer for more than 30 years. I know she doesn't even look that old. Joe serves her community by sponsoring Talk Shop alongside other professionals of excellence. She is the host of Real Estate Mortgage Shop. You probably listen to that on Saturday mornings on 600 a.m. That's WREC at 9 o'clock, and 92 FM, and on her podcasts and blog posts at www.joegarner.com. Today, Joe is going to give us the inside scoop on her new book, Choosing the Best Mortgage, the Quickest Way to the Life You Want, available for pre-sale today at www.joegarner.com. Now, when it comes to a personal recommendation, I've been using Joe actually for over 20 years. We met in the early 2000s, and since I've been in this B&I chapter, almost all of the mortgages that I can get to her, I do. And she does a fabulous job. She gets them closed on time, she has good rates, and her customers are always happy. And on that, I'm going to turn it over to Rob.
I wanted to give you all some of the impressive endorsements that she's gotten on her new book that I have right here in my hand. First, from RealtyTimes.com, Joe's mastery of the mortgage industry positively impacts the lives of others. And also from the New York Times and Wall Street Journal best-selling author Don Hudson, an informative and entertaining guide for real estate professionals and consumers alike. I highly recommend it. And last, Women in Wisdom said, real-life insights and stories that support Joe's relentless commitment to create consumer confidence when it comes to making informed decisions. And with that, I'll hand it over to Joe Garner.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Pat. You know, after 30 years of serving as a mortgage loan officer, I still get that thrill when the client calls me and invites me to be on their home buying journey, or on their journey as their lender when they want to refinance, restructure to change their life, change their finances and their life. And now I'm really excited through this book to be able to give you a chance to go behind the scenes and get a glimpse of some of these clients, some of their dreams, their roadblocks, and how they got over those roadblocks. My newest book, Choosing the Best Mortgage, the Quickest Way to the Life You Want, is an essential guide for understanding the opportunities that mortgage programs can offer you. It's informative, it's easy to read, it's full of people stories that illustrate the advantages, the disadvantages, the tips, and the tricks to this mortgage, that mortgage, and the other one. My hope is that as you read this book, you're going to pick up some nuggets that are going to give you some ideas, maybe a seed for an idea to get a breakthrough to the life that you want. Now, if you're a real estate professional, it goes even deeper, because I've included a lot of things I've learned throughout the years from real estate professionals. There are a ton of tools in there that you can put in your toolkit. And if you're a real estate professional, if you are working with a home buyer, a home seller, and you run into a snag, a challenge, there's plenty of tools in here that will get you over those obstacles and help you celebrate with that client at closing. Now, let's see. I want to talk about Sam and Sally. They were newlyweds. They were expecting their first child, and they were saddled up with student debt, and Sam had made a lot of mistakes in college with his credit cards. He had a lot of collections, and we had to get him set up where he could gradually get some of those paid off, and he put up $300 of his own money to a credit card company, and they gave him a $250 credit line. Nobody would loan any money to Sam. And he started making his payments on time. He kept the usage on that credit card under 10% of the credit limit, so his scores began to go up really quickly. Now, Sally had no credit at all. Her parents were brilliant. They just put her on an established credit card that they had with very low usage, good payment history, and her scores went up immediately. So we were able to finally celebrate with Sam and Sally their beautiful new home. And that is the story of Sam and Sally. You'll find out more in the book about them. Okay, this is Barry. Many years ago, Barry called me up and he said, Joe, I yearn to spend more time with my children and one day my grandchildren. How can I buy enough income producing real estate where I can quit my day job? Well, it wasn't easy for Barry. It took him a long time to really get started. It was hard, but he got with the right people and we began to work on it, and he developed multiple credit lines where he could now go out and buy houses for cash, fixer-uppers at a bargain price, fix them up and either resell them, or he would fix them up and call me and say, hey Joe, I got this house fixed up. I am ready to refinance to a low interest rate and a low payment so I can make some money on this house. And we would refinance, pay his credit lines off so that then he could go and buy these and do this over and over and over again. And Barry is very close to quitting his day job. He's already not having to work as much, so good for Barry. I want to talk about the Binghams. The Binghams, they took really good care of their finances. They paid their bills on time. Life was good until it wasn't. One day their college daughter came home from school with headaches that turned into a crippling illness, and she needed her parents to help her survive. It was very drastic. The parents, the Binghams, had to pull off their full-time jobs, go part-time. They started living out of their savings, their retirement. They started getting credit cards. They were just concentrating on their daughter. And when they came to me, they said, Joe, we've got to help our daughter survive, but we don't want to lose everything in the process. What do we do? And we put together a very creative refinance for them. They had a lot of equity in their home. We put some very high interest rate, big, high payment debt. We rolled it into the new mortgage. We were able to save them a little less than $1,000 a month, but it gave them a chance to breathe, to concentrate on their daughter. Their daughter ended up starting to recover. Really, she recovered. They went back to full time, and their goal was step 2, pay off the other debt with their savings, and then after that, they were going to pay their mortgage off sooner than what they would have paid that mortgage had none of this happened. So I want to talk about Mr. Palmer real quick. Mr. Palmer is self-employed. He had a very successful business, a lot of money in the bank, and good credit. So he wanted to get out in the country, get away from the city, because he was burned out. He put an audacious offer on a house with no contingency on the financing because, hey, he was good, right? The bank turned him down for not enough income on his tax return, and now he had put a big earnest money check down. He called me and said, I'm going to lose this earnest money. What do I do? We started at the back of the tax return and moved forward, and a good loan officer knows what expenses you can add back to income and under what circumstances. If we spell it out in the book, exactly for self-employed people, what you can do to make sure that you've got all the qualified income you need. And we were able to get Mr. Palmer closed out on his house. Okay, there are 4 major barriers that people encounter when they are trying to get a mortgage. One of them is credit challenges. Who do you know that's had credit challenges? We spell out how to get over these barriers in the book. Whole chapters devoted to this with stories and everything. Not enough qualified income, lack of funds to close, appraisal barriers, low appraisals, repair issues. We also talk about specific programs. We have stories, chock full of stories in there, how people have used it and why that particular mortgage product worked and was the perfect product for them, tips and tricks, advantages, disadvantages to conventional loans, FHA loans, 100% USDA loans, 100% veteran loans, down payment assistance programs, renovation and repair loans. This is where your bargains are right now, buying fixer-uppers. Reverse mortgages, adjustable rate mortgages, real estate investment loans, seller financing, how that works, contract for deed, lease purchase scenarios, home equity lines, when you use them and when you don't, and more. So right now, I want to invite you to buy the book. You can buy it online at jogarner.com. Just click on my book or the book, and you can buy. It's pre-sale right now. They'll be printed in September, but go ahead and buy on a pre-sale. There are 185 pages, 20 chapters, and appendixes in there for you. And you know you don't have to buy the book. If you can just ask me, I'll share with you whatever you want to know. But the advantage to owning the book is that you have all of this information in one place, 24/7, and it may not even end up being for you. It may end up being for somebody that you know, that you say, hey, I've got the perfect thing for you. Pull it off the shelf and hand it to them. So I want to invite you to be on the journey, choosing the best mortgage, the quickest way to the life you want. Connect, buy it today at jogarner.com, and I'll even autograph it for you. So thank you so much, B&I appreciate you.